And that's, and also to everyone else that's listening in, that's basically what that's hopefully what we're going to get through today is everybody downloading Blender and getting it installed, and also Unity. So if you do not have Blender at this time, if you look over in our chat, this one right here is for PC. This is Blender 3.6.2. Well, this is the version that I'm currently using. But if you want to upgrade to like 4.0 or the newest version, that's fine. Basically, the things that we're going to be going through will be very similar in both versions. So it's just all about your preference at this point.
So, Kip, this is sexy. Do I have to go on my computer, the desktop, because I'm on the phone right now?
Yes, you will.
Yes.
You will definitely need to be on your computer for these courses for this class.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go and uh, turn on my computer.
All right.
I got it now. It downloaded the Mac version finally. Thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. You can type in your chat Unity download, and you want to see this download archive here. And we're working on LTS releases. So you want to click on download LTS releases. And that is Unity 2022.3.6 F1. So that'll be on page 2, I believe, right there. This is the version that you would download if you're interested in doing like avatars for VR chat or building worlds. Now as far as you guys that's from Horizon, I don't know when they're gonna institute Unity over there or if they are. You know what I'm saying? But the Blender portion of this class would definitely be for you.
Hey, Kip, what was that version again? For Unity.
It's going to be LTS release 2022.3.6 F1.
Got you.
And don't worry about the component installers. Just you want this link right here. And make sure yeah, you save it in your downloads, all of that good little stuff. And as we go forward, make sure that you create folders on either external drives or a place where you have a lot of space, because over time these sessions are going to build up very quickly
Hmm.
depending on the size of your builds and stuff, and how many models and stuff that you make. So I'll create you a folder for projects and put a Unity project folder in there, and put a Blender project folder in there. You can also make you another folder for assets. As you start making stuff, you'll need somewhere to save like your assets, what I'm saying, things of that nature. My drives have gotten screwed. Don't even start. Don't, yeah, I don't even want to show y'all the my computer portion. I'm just going to go to the drive where I got stuff saved at. So yeah, so right here in projects, so I got my assets, then Blender, then Unity, and it's a bunch of stuff that I should have saved in certain folders, but I didn't. So I do got some cleaning up to do, but mainly you want to have an assets folder, Blender, and Unity. Inside your Blender folder, you can probably create you a folder that says add-ons in there, because as you purchase add-ons for your Blender or okay, so during the class, okay, so this is a this is to show you some of the basics of Blender. Once you learn these basics, we will be probably hosting a couple of little advanced classes down the line and everything like that. But this is just to show you some of the basics of Blender. If you already know the basics of Blender, this beginning portion honestly is not for you. Okay, this will not be a class of showing 80,000 different shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Um, yeah. So we're just gonna go through some Blender basics, and by the end of this class, you will be able to make this trophy. And by making this trophy here, and by also what Jackie will be teaching you in the model that she'll be having you make, it'll broaden your horizons in order to start building things like worlds, also of making assets such as furniture, or even avatar creation. All right, so today, so by the end of this class, like I said, if you're looking at my screen, you're going to learn how to make this trophy here. But first, we're going to go over some of the basics of this window. So I am going to go to a new session. Let me save this real quick. Save this very quickly. Projects, Blender, trophy. All right. All right. So when you open up Blender, you're going to come to this screen. You're going to have your recent files of everything you just did, and also to what new type of file that you're doing. So we're basically doing a general sculpting. So if you just click your mouse on the screen here, then it'll bring you to this. Right here, this is a light for your scene. This is a camera for your scene. If you guys end up doing like any type of like animation rendering, that nature, or if you're creating something directly in Blender that you want to render out instead of exporting out to go into another project. All right. If you want to delete these things, oh, also, good thing to know. For this class, I advise you to have a two-button mouse with a scroll wheel.
Mhm.
You will need a two-button mouse with a scroll wheel, because I don't use a laptop. I've never used a laptop with Blender, so I know nothing of the touchpad and using this with a touchpad. So I advise you to get a two-button mouse with a scroll wheel. All right. Okay, so in this window, you have a lot of stuff. It may seem confusing to you, of knowing where everything is. Up here, just like with any other program, you have your file, your edit. I'm basically working out of file and edit. Up here, you have your modes of editing of in your editing window. The main two you're going to use, click on this cube here. The main two you're going to use in this drop down box will be object mode and edit mode. For my portion of this class, it will be object mode and edit mode. All right. You can switch between the two of these by using tab. If you hit tab, if you in order to see that, you'll click on this cube here, left click on the cube, and you'll just hit the tab button. The tab button will switch you between the edit mode and the object mode. All right. So just play around with that for a minute. Edit mode, when you're in edit mode, this will allow you to manipulate your model. Now, object mode, if you're in object mode, you can use that to move your model around, in which we'll get into how to move things, how to move within the viewport window. All right, so yeah, edit mode and object mode, and you switch through those two using the tab button. Now, when you're in edit mode, you'll notice that when you change to edit mode, you have these 3 points of reference here. You have your vertex mode, then you have your edge mode,
In your face
and then you
mode.
have your face select. Your vertex mode allows you to see your vertices. If you ever hear, us talk about vertices, these are your vertices on your cube.
The little dots.
To zoom in the viewport window, you can scroll your mouse wheel to zoom in and out. All right. Now, edge mode, if you select the edge mode, then that will allow you to select the edges of your model. Any edge, no matter how many edges you have, in edge mode, you can select these edges. And then in face mode, allows you to select whole faces. All right. Now, with these modes that's up here, not only can you click on them with your mouse, but the shortcuts for these are the one,
One,
two,
two, and
and
three.
three buttons of your numbers above your keyboard, your keyboard, not your keypad, but your numbers above your keyboard. So one is vertex, two is edge, and three is face. I'm like real horrible at using shortcuts. For some reason, I always use like the long way. You'll see me clicking between object mode and edit mode instead of hitting tab. And you'll also see me clicking on these instead of hitting one, two, and three. So whatever works best for you. If you're a shortcut person, one, two, and three, and tab to switch through your modes. Now, before we get over here to this side over here, if I'm in this window, let's switch back to object mode. Let's hit tab here. If I'm in this window and I want to navigate around this cube, I will press and hold the scroll button. The scroll button allows me to rotate around my scene. So you hit your mouse button or you hold your middle mouse wheel and just rotate around. Remember, you can also roll the scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and then you hold it as a button to rotate around. Now, if I want to move uh, laterally, what I'll do is I'll hold shift and hold my middle mouse wheel to move back and forth, up and down, back and forth, up and down. So that'll be holding the mouse wheel and the shift button to move from side to side, up and down. If I release the shift button and hold the middle mouse wheel, I rotate around that. This is how you move in this program. So you can play around with that for a second and, you know, understand how this works. So I'll say it again. Roll on the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Hold the scroll wheel to rotate around an object. And hold shift to move forward and backwards, well, up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. Mhm. Hold one moment. We have a person is trying to get into the class. Grab this. Grab this invite link. All right. So, any questions so far on navigating with the mouse? Well, with the scroll button and shift, and also the scroll button to zoom. Any questions at all? Please feel free to ask. see you unmuted, Maddie, but I can't hear you. Oh.
Which action did you do for the Zoom?
All right, for the zoom, that is scrolling on your middle mouse wheel.
Oh, okay.
Is there anybody that doesn't use a mouse that has suggestions? I'm ordering one right now. Sucks that I can't move around without it really.
Now, in your settings, I
Yeah, I just
really
had to order
didn't
one
want to.
myself.
I really didn't want to go into this, but in your navigation up here, all right. So in your navigation, there is a where is it? Oh, I need to check that too. If you go to edit mode, preferences, and go to navigation, there is a method here for when you're using if you're not using a mouse. Let's see here. Toss that touchpad. Don't. You know what? Let me find the documentation on that, and then I'll just let y'all read that for yourselves. Hold on. No mouse.
Thank you. We can be brief so I don't hold everybody up.
All right, in the chat here, there is a link.
Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. All right, so any other questions in regards to the navigation using shift and the scroll wheel? Ooh, that looks nice. That looks nice. I used to have one of those. Let me also put that in the chat too if people want to order a mouse.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you because I can't access the chat, so I just sent it to you directly so you can put it in there.
All right. Appreciate it, cuz.
I still, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
I still can't zoom, and I don't know if it's because of the kind of mouse I got, because I got like a Apple Magic Mouse thing, but it's not letting me zoom in and out.
Does it have a scroll wheel on it?
No, with the Magic Mouse, it's kind of smooth. I just have to roll my finger on it, and that acts as the same thing as the wheel. So do I click the box?
Separate from the wheel. This is separate from the wheel. You need a scroll wheel. You need the ball and a scroll wheel. You need both.
Oh yeah.
There is options for hotkeys for people with laptops instead of ball mouse.
Yeah.
If you check on YouTube and you check the very first tutorial for the blender guy who makes the donut,
I have it in the
all
link
the hotkeys.
I have it in the chat over here to the right.
Yeah, he gives you all the hotkeys so you don't have to go and buy the ball mouse. But I would suggest you need it. You need that for the scroll wheel. You need it for Unity. You do need it for Blender. Otherwise, it's a lot more difficult for you.
Mm-hmm. It will greatly give you ease of use. Great.
It will.
What's that other special mouse that Arthur uses?
That is that connect.
The Puck. Is it the Puck? The 3D mouse?
It looked like, yeah, 3D mouse. That's what it is. Like
yeah.
It looked like a puck.
Yeah. That's the Puck.
Now that I heard that mouse is a very good investment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it does.
It is an investment.
It's like what? Like $1.50, right?
Yeah. Yep. Somewhere around there.
One kid put in the chat just now. I have that
mouse,
one.
but,
And it's
the way
like
she says it, she said that
$22.
she could get into nooks and crannies, like when she's trying to, twist to different.
Not suggesting that you get it. I mean, I'm just letting people know what I use. So, but
if you go on Amazon, there's some really good ones with trackballs on, and they're really good for when you're doing Unity. It makes, instead of you having to have a whole big space to move your mouse around, you can literally keep it in one space so you don't get repetitive strain syndrome on your hands at the same. And you use your thumb to roll the ball around instead. You can get in a lot quicker all over the place where you want to go. And then you have your 2 buttons and you have your scroll wheel in between. I think mine cost me, mine's English money is about £25. So for you lot, that's probably about $35, something like that. Yeah, and that was on Amazon.
Yeah, the
No, I
link that's
think
in
that's
the
the
chat.
one that's in the
what it
chat.
is.
It's in the chat.
I can't see the chat when I'm in the video. I have to leave the video altogether in order to see the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you are a beginner, leave the space mouse alone.
Yeah, you want to keep it simple in the beginning. Keep it very simple.
And it costs a lot. It's not cheap.
Yeah, it is.
I personally use a Razer Basilisk Hyperspeed for AutoCAD and SketchUp, and it is expensive. It was a 120 Canadian, but well worth it.
Yeah.
Can you get a link and send that link to me so I can throw that in the chat as well?
Yeah, I'll work on that.
Appreciate it. All right. So, but besides the and also keep in mind that these are being recorded. Then that way, you know what I'm saying, you can go back to this portion and
That's dope. That's dope.
All right.
I'm proud of you, Kipp.
Boy, you crazy. I do it. I can do it. I can do it. Cause just saying. Right. So okay. So has everyone that is able to navigate around? Are you have any questions in regards to navigation? Zooming in, zooming out, moving left and right, up and down. All right. So we shall continue. All right. So as you know, left clicking highlights an highlights an object. You know what I'm saying? Selects an object. You know what I'm saying? Now if you right click, that's going to bring up a menu. You know what I'm saying? It's going to bring up a menu in regards to different type of shading that you can do. If you're working with like curves or something, you want to convert it to meshes, or if you want to like set your origins, you know what I'm saying, different things of that nature. But we'll get more into that. But mainly for right now, you are using your left click to select an object, whether it's your light, your camera, or your object, your mesh object. But for this particular class, we will not be using the light in the camera right now. So what you can do is you can click on the light, and if you hold the shift button, it allows you to select multiple items. So after you click on the light, hold the shift button and then click on the camera. And then from that point, you can either press X on your keyboard or you can press delete. If you hit X on the keyboard, it'll bring up a delete menu, but if you just hit delete, it'll delete those. And so now in your viewport, you should only have just the cube.
Oh shit.
Thank you so kindly, Hypno. Got that. Posting that over in the chat now. All right, that is another mouse. You guys want to take take a look at that one? All right, so now we're going to look at snapping to different view angles. So you know how to navigate using your mouse and using shift. Now on your number pad, for those of you who have a number pad, you have orthographic view and you have perspective modes. You know what I'm saying? Perspective modes is basically showing you your view with depth. You know what I'm saying? You're actually able to see the depth of this cube. But if I go into an orthographic face of hitting 1 on my number pad, it snaps me directly to the front of the cube. That way I'm able to see everything to the front. If I hit 3, it snaps me to the side. And if I hit 7 on my number pad, it shows me the top view. So 1, 3, and 7. You have the front, which is 1. You have the 3, which is the side. And you have the 7, which is the top. All right. Now, if you want to see now you have the back, the the right side and the bottom. In order to see those, you'll hold the shift button and press 1. That'll show you the back. If you hold shift and press 3, that'll show you the right side or the opposing side. And if you hold shift and hit 7, that shows you the bottom. So 1, 3, and 7. When I'm also still in orthographic mode, which I am not supposed to be. There we go. So 1 will show you the front, 3 will show you the left side, 7 will show you the top. If you hold shift and hit 1, that'll show you the back. Hold shift and hit 3, that'll show you the right side or the opposing side. And if you hit shift and 7, that'll show you the bottom. This really comes in handy if you're if you're doing some type of proportional editing. Well, not proportional editing, but you're doing some type of mirror editing where anything that you manipulate over on this side or manipulate on that side, or if you just want to select things that's front facing, and you're able to get a good front view or side view if you're manipulating bones for an avatar, or anything of that nature. All right, so you can mess around with that for a little bit and get an understanding of that. So 1, 3, and 7, and then shift 1, shift 3, and shift 7.
I don't have a keypad, Kipp, so.
Right, so for your that don't have a keypad, the video that's posted up here at the top, the one at time index 645. This is a video for you guys that you'll want to watch, because he's going to tell you to go into your preferences, and for your navigation, where is it?
Yep, you go to input, and then that button right there on the third button down, one more down, go down one right there.
Mouse. Oh no, I was talking about for the number pad. So, but yes, for the 3-button mouse as well.
Great video.
Oh, you over there watching it? Good deal.
Bro, how do you get back to the regular view? That view after you hit the.
So you can hit 1 on your number pad, and then from there just hold down your middle mouse wheel and navigate. Or you can hit. This switches you between perspective and orthographic. This one right here, right over here on the side.
Hold up, I'm on. Hold on. Which one?
Over here on the side, right here.
Okay. Bet. All right, bet.
So if you find yourself stuck in orthographic view, just hit this one right here. And that'll pull you out. No matter where you are in the let's see, like I think it was this one. See, like when you're looking at from the bottom view, well, from the top view, but it's still looking kind of funny, you can just go over here and come out of that view. And seeing just these view modes and navigation, as you know, with any program, you know what I'm saying, navigation is very, very important. It's very, very, very much needed. I have so many people that says, "Oh, y'all want to get into Blender," and I'm like, "Yo, honestly, navigation is first." To be honest, a lot of this stuff, it makes it a lot easier All right, so where are we now? Any questions in regards to the view modes of the number pad? And also remember, you guys that do not have a number pad, please look at this video, reference the video that we're creating, and also reference this video here from Surface Studio. Also, as y'all know, Aussie Guy has been providing links, tips, and tricks. You know what I'm saying, for navigating Unity, for navigating Blender for a good little minute. He just posted another video in the chat. If you only just have if you're using Blender with just a touchpad, no mouse, no number pad. You know what I'm saying. So take a look at this video as well. Especially on the Macs, people with Macs. Have a look at that video.
Thank you.
All right, Jackie, take it away.
Oh no.
All right. So any questions? Any questions in regards to the 1, 3, and 7, and the shift 1, shift 3, and shift 7? Number pad navigation around 4, 6, 8, and 2.
Excuse me.
Like if you don't have a mouse right now and you just want to navigate around, you can use 4, 6, 8, and 2. 4 for a horizontal rotation, 8 and 2 for vertical. All right. All righty. So let's move on over to the right side of the screen. All right. So.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Take it away, Jackie.
Yo.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, so over here on the right side, you have a lot going on over here. You have your scene collection. This is where you have a lot of your objects that you'll have, whether it's cubes, cylinders, planes, curves, models that you import, assets that you import. You know what I'm saying? All of that you'll find over here in your collection. You can create different collections, right clicking in this area and selecting new collection. You know what I'm saying? You can also mark stuff as assets. If you mark these as an asset, like an object that you have, if you mark it as an asset, anytime if you open up, this is going to be later on down the line where I show you this, but you'll be able to open up like an asset browser, and you'll be able to go to these particular sessions and pull that asset out of another Blender file and place it into your current scene. So that's, yeah. All right. Okie dokie. All right. So here, this little arrow here is a lot of your some viewport tools. You'll also find if you have any add-ons added into your Blender, they'll appear here on the side as well. But mainly, you will have your view, your tools, and your items. You know what I'm saying? This item here basically shows you on your object, the object that you have selected, it'll show you the location of it. It'll show you the axes in which it's rotated. It'll show you the scale. and it'll show you your dimensions. You're able to now. I call this normalizing since I have a music background. And when you normalize something, it pretty much brings it up to 0 dB. You know what I'm saying, like sound wise. But in here, if you're normalizing things by using Control A, you're applying the location, well, your transforms. And here it's transforms instead of normalization. So you apply all of your transforms, and you'll be able to see that over here in this window. Your view, the clip start and clip in, like say for instance, I'm zooming in on here. Oh, let's go into edit mode. Let's see if it'll let me do it. If you zoom in close, as you see that vertice disappears because of my clip start. If you're really trying to get in close to a vertice, you can change your clip start. 0.001. You see, now I can see it better now. And if you've imported a massive file, like a massive object, and as you zoom out, you will notice that the object will start to disappear. You can change the end of your focal length. You know what I'm saying? By adding a couple of zeros, depending on how big it is. To bring out these menus, you can easily hit N on your keyboard. Nope, not right there. Easily hit N on your keyboard. That'll close that, and if you hit N again, it'll open it. That opens up that little menu over there.
Hey, Kip.
Yes.
My menu does not have as many options as yours does. Mine only has 3.
Are those 3 item, tool, and view?
They sure are.
Great. That is what comes standard with our Blender. The rest of these that you see down here are add-ons that I have, plugins that I've added on to my Blender. Now, a lot of your plugins, very quickly, a lot of your plugins, if you go over here to edit and you go down to preferences, you'll see this little option over here for add-ons. Now, Blender comes with an array of add-ons that are pre-added into Blender. Depending on what you want to do, you may be able to find a add-on in here for you. You may have curve tools. This landscape, I would suggest checking this box to add this one, because this one you can add landscapes into Blender, and you can do different landscapes and stuff. You can paint on them, all kinds of stuff. So Ant Landscape is a good one to add. But this add-on will not populate over here. It'll populate when you decide to add a different object into your scene. It's just so many booleans for cutting holes and stuff. I got a pose library here. Yeah, it's just a lot of different add-ons. You may want to, let's see, is loop tools in here? Okay, so this one here, if you go up to your search, type in LO, you'll see mesh loop tools. Check that one. Loop tools is a very good add-on. You can also check this one too. I didn't have it checked, but you can check this one too. You can import images as planes. So if you have an image that you want to port in and you want to, cut in it or something of that nature, you can import it in as a plane, and it comes in already with the texture of that image on the plane. All right. Save load down here. Okay. So for people who, if your system, if you find that your Blender closes a lot, or you're in an area that has power issues where you always find your power going out or something like that, you may want to set your system up to auto save. You know what I'm saying? Different versions. I have mine set to 1, but every 2 minutes it overwrites that version. Every 2 minutes. Now let's see. Okay, then click on System. I have my undo steps set to 200 because sometimes when I'm doing avatars or something like that, and I done found I done went too deep into doing something, I done did this, and I need to really go back and only have like 30 something undo steps. It's not going to work. So I have my undo level set to 200.
Hey, Kip, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just have a quick
Sure, you good.
question. Are you going over these basic things again on Thursday? Because I just had to order a brand new freaking laptop because apparently neither one of the two that I have the graphics card that I need to run this program for Blender.
Okay.
So I just purchased one from Best Buy. What are you covering next week? Because I don't want to
Oh,
miss it.
we're gonna
Sorry,
briefly
Thursday.
we're gonna briefly touch on them in the next class. However, this entire session is being recorded.
Okay, great, great, great. And just for anybody who might know Diddly Squat about laptops, I ordered an MSI Cyborg 15.6 gaming laptop with the I don't know with the GeForce RTX 4050 something 512 gigs. I think it's the right one. It better be for that price. It damn sure better be. Like I hope so. But this was one that one of the people who DJs and stuff sent to me, so it should be the right one.
That actually sounds great. I have an MSI 1050. It's 5 years old, and it's still kicking. It's still doing good. But 4050, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, good, good. All right, so I'm gonna still look so I can have some knowledge of it, but I'll let you get back to it.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Oh, also, Jackie, if you need me to take over with the recording and stuff, just let me know. But I am also actually recording as we go.
Okay. Okay, I'm still recording.
Okay, so in this Blender preferences window, for you guys that do have a graphics card in your system, you want to come over. You want to make sure that you're on system here. You want to come to CUDA, and you want to have both of these checked. That way, the system knows to use your graphics card and to use your processor. It'll take a lot of the load off of rendering. If you're building something, right, and you got lights or emissions in your world, and you want to render that and see how that looks, this right here greatly takes some of the load off in rendering those files to for you to see. All right, so we are good here. Any questions before I close this window, or any questions in regards to the add-ons that we just took a look at? Anybody? Anyone? No? All right, cool.
Was it just two of them that you recommended?
Yes, the loop tools and the ant landscape.
Add landscape. Okay, that's what I missed.
Now, for those of you who eventually will get into geometry nodes, I'm going to let you know now, this will not be the course for that. However, if you want to add this little add-on right here, this node wrangler, it is, you may want to add this add-on as well.
So landscapes.
But Kip, what was the one you said after loop?
Loop tools is and then ANT, is it? Land. Yeah, type in land into the search up here and add this one right here, ANT landscape. A collection of different mountain terrain ranges and all kinds of stuff like that.
Thank you.
All righty. Okie dokie. So back to this area up here. Okay, so on the top right portion of your screen to the left of your collection window, you see these different viewport shading. This is your viewport shading. This is to see your mesh in different modes. This one right here is the wireframe mode. And all of the previous options that we went through for the different edit modes will work in these different modes, but it's just showing you the those modes. Now, normally, when you go into edit mode, if you have this selected, right? All right, let me try to show you that again. If you have wireframe mode selected and you go into edit mode, which it did not do apparently. All right, let's see if it does it now. Okay, it still didn't do it. Okay, all right. Well, normally it would turn on your X-ray mode, but anyway, we'll get to that. All right, so you have your wireframe mode. You have your, this is just a standard viewport shading. When you come in to Blender, if you have like any blender colors, like any blender materials applied, you will see them, but you won't see them the way that you will see them on this material shader, on this material viewport. So if you go here and click on the third one, this is your material your material shading node, well, viewport. If you want to see your materials, like a material preview. So if you have any materials applied, you will be able to see them in this mode here. So you have wireframe, standard viewport, material preview, and this last one here is render mode. If you're rendering a scene, you want to say, for instance, you just finished making a dope ass build. See, I'm already cussing. A dope build, or if you have an avatar, you made some shoes, and you have a light in the world, and you want to just see how all of this looks. How I just showed y'all that trophy. This will be the tab that you would go to. Now, if you're on this tab, there are some things that you need to know in regards to you rendering the scene. Down here are options for your viewport, modifiers, your materials. You're going to work from this area a lot in Blender, a lot. So this first one right here, your render mode. Let's all click on the little camera right there for render mode. When you get to render mode, you have your rendering engine. You're going to change your rendering engine from Eevee to Cycles. Right? Once you change it from Eevee to Cycles, if you have a good graphics card, you're going to change the device from CPU to GPU compute. And here, where it says denoise, you're going to click denoise. When you start rendering certain scenes, you can play around with this denoise, and you'll see what I'm saying. The denoise, it'll take a lot of the noise out of your scene. Like if you see as I move around, you'll see like you'll see like more of a blur shading on this cube. But if I uncheck denoise, you'll see it's noise instead as it renders in. But denoising, it just works better for me. It's just a view that I personally like. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever's works best for you, and depending on how powerful your GPU is. Now, if you have like a super high end GPU, then denoising won't really matter like that. All right, so that is that. All right, we're gonna go back to here. All right, let's go back to our standard view. All right, so now this button here off to the left, this is your X-ray mode, and it's self-explanatory. As you can see through the cube. If you're altering something, you can turn on your, like, say for instance you're in wireframe mode, you can turn on your X-ray, you can see right through it. This is also good for when you're editing from the side, like say for instance we're in this port here, and you can go to edit mode. If I'm looking at this cube, say for instance I want to bring, I don't have this on, let's turn that off. Say for instance I want to bring this side right here down. See, as you see, when I pull it down, it only pulls one vertex down. But undo. If I turn on my X-ray mode and I select this, it selects every vertex behind it. allowing me to manipulate the entire thing. All right, and we're going to get into manipulation in one moment of moving vertices and stuff. All right. So now any view that you're in, you can use X-ray mode. Like if we're in material shading and we go to edit mode, you can see right through it. See, it works the same. If we're in this port, it works the same. If we're in wireframe, it works the same. Rendering, it works the same, but you have to have a very high-powered graphics card if you're editing while you're in render view, because it will definitely slow your system down. See, my system it's good, but it's not great. All right, okie dokie. This tool here is your overlays tool. It shows you different overlays that's in the world. You cut it off. If you just turn it off, it doesn't show you anything. But once you turn it on, you have the option down here to see what you want to see. You know, if you want to see your grid that's on the floor, if you want to see your face orientation to see which way your face is pointing. If you've ever been in a world in either alt space or VR chat, if you notice, you'll go into some worlds where you can only see one side of a wall, and when you stick your head through the wall, you're able to see out of all sides of the world and stuff. You're like, well, I know I'm behind a wall, but I can see through it. That's face orientation, which is also called normals. If you're in a scene and you go into face orientation of your model and you see red faces, that means that in Unity or whatever platform you're uploading your model to, you cannot see, the person will not be able to see that face because it's flipped, it's backwards. And I'm going to show you guys how to flip those as we go along. All right, this drop down box here for your shading. This shows you your skybox, or you know what I'm saying, your 3D world around you if you're using that. My world opacity is turned down, but if I turn it up, as you can see, that's everything that's behind it, and I can turn the blur down as well. It's basically you can use this for if you're building something in a certain environment and you want to know how light reacts to it. You know what I'm saying, you can do that as well by going over here to your viewport shading. I normally have mine pretty much grayed out unless I'm building and I want to see how my lights look in a dark setting or something, things of that nature. All right, moving on. Hold on. Well, before I move on, any questions in regards to this row up here? I want you to click. As a matter of fact, take a moment to click through these different scenes to see what they do. Navigate, you know, using your middle mouse wheel and your shift, you know what I'm saying, to navigate around using those different scenes. X-ray mode, all of that. You can also mess with your face orientation. We'll talk about this one down here later. This right here, normals. That way you can actually see the direction in which your face is pointing without even going to your face orientation. Even though I still like to use face orientation, I rarely use the normals down here to see a face where it's pointing. But it does come in. It does have its perks sometimes, depending on what you're building. So take a moment to look over the viewport shading, the toggling the X-ray, and also the viewport overlays. Now, also inside of here, just one more quick thing I want to add is that right here, this button right here is very important. Turn that on. That's your statistics. This tells you over on the left-hand side how many polys you have in the world. Right there. So there's one thing with your vertices, but this is your polys right here. How many polys do you have in the world? So for you guys that are making avatars, this is very important right here. You definitely want to take a look at this.
Can you repeat real quick, Kip? How you turn that the statistics
Yeah, I was
on?
about to ask.
Yes. Okay, so over here in the right hand corner, this overlay button, the drop down box next to it, click it, and right here under text info, you'll see statistics. Turn that on.
All right.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Kip, when you were looking at the viewport shading where it had like the skybox,
Yes.
so I know we're not there yet, but is that where you would change the actual image if you didn't want that to be what reflects inside the reflection probe on the item?
Yes, you would, but keep this in mind also. The reflection probe is inside of Unity, right? So when you export a model out of here, it doesn't take a reflection probe from here with it. It will use the reflection probe that's inside of Unity. So whatever skybox you're using inside of Unity, the reflection probe will reflect what's in there. But if you're doing if you're making a world, right? If you're making a world and you have a reflection probe in your world, when you upload that world, when an avatar comes into your world, it reads the data from the reflection probe that you have in your world, not what you have in Blender or in Unity when you was making the avatar.
Okay, that makes sense. I saw there were a bunch of choices in there, so when I was clicking through, so I didn't know if that's why you would change it if you didn't want to have that image.
Oh yeah. It's just like if you wanna just change 2 different skyboxes in here, that's basically if you want to set the environment for how you want certain reflective objects to look. If you want to see how they would look in certain environments, so
Okay.
you have that option. But when you export your avatar or your world out of here, none of these reflections will go with it. Your reflections will be what's in Unity,
centering the cursor in the world of
which you'll see as we
if you want to sound
go
like
as we go along.
and you do that by hitting Shift
All right.
C.
Any of the questions, any at all, please do not be afraid to ask. Just please ask.
I do have a question. You drinking while you teaching right now?
Say what?
I said you drinking while you teaching right now?
Some
We doing
Kool-Aid.
shot o'clock during the class? What's up?
No shot of clocks in these classes, cause I'm focused today, bro. So I get this Kool-Aid with today.
Oh my God, Ty, really?
Yeah, really.
Shame on you.
Yeah, man. I should have been taking notes, man. We need a secretary. I need to put some money on the secretary.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
So we can write all this stuff down.
Oh my God.
We got. That's why we recording too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Any part you miss or you want to get in deeper into, just send the video back or yeah.
Yeah, I got
you. So we're gonna also touch on some things too as we start to make our trophy and stuff. We will definitely go back through everything. Well, a lot of the stuff that we're learning here, I promise you, it's gonna make sense. It's just right now I'm just giving you an overview of the viewport.
All right.
Hey, Kip, I got a quick question. I've been messing around with the face orientations while you're talking, and I forgot how you showed those little cyan arrows coming out, those lines. How do you click
Yes, sir. All right. So are you in object mode or edit mode right now?
I'm in edit mode.
All right, good deal. All right, so let me switch to edit mode by hitting tab. All right, and then we're gonna go up to our
there.
overlay. We're gonna click on the drop down box, and at the very bottom you see normals here. This one right here. This is the face normal.
That's weird. I don't see that.
You don't see, and you are in okay. So try this. Go back into object mode. Make sure that you click on the object, that you have the object highlighted in yellow.
Okay.
All right. Now go back into edit mode. Now is this blue box turned on?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Now hit the drop down.
The last one shows motion tracking right after face orientation. Yeah, you see that? That's where it cuts off for me after motion tracking. And I just downloaded the newest version. So
I wonder if they. I hope they didn't do away with that. Answer me this: do you have a lot of the same options above face orientation that I have?
yes, I do. Yeah.
And does are all of your boxes checked in the same fashion as mine?
Um, I just got to run through here. Okay, let's see. Got floor. Yep, those, and then those. Yep. So far,
Are you on a Mac? Because I am too, and I don't see those options either at the bottom.
I'm on a laptop. So
I'm on Windows and I don't see them either.
And all now are all of y'all on Blender 4.0?
Let me go.
I am.
Yes,
if you want to check your version, go over here to the Blender logo that's right over here in the top left-hand corner. Click it and select the splash screen.
Splash screen.
And you'll see it in the top right-hand corner up here.
Yeah, 402.
Yep.
402.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that must be an option that has been changed. However, at the same time though, true enough, you may need it in the process of you building, and you don't want to switch to face orientation. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that. Say for instance, let's put a bunch of loop cuts in here. As you see, now that I got all of these sides in here, it shows each side to where it's facing. However, let's go back to face orientation. If you are in face, but if you do select face orientation, anything that you see that is red means that that face is pointing inside. It's out. Well, inside.
Yeah.
So this is mainly the one that I use. I rarely use the normal points down there. I mean, it does come in handy, but I rarely use it. This one seems to work best for me. I just switch over to it, and I can instantly see everywhere around my mesh that could be flipped or something. You know what I'm saying? And so then that way I'm able to just select all of them at once, and then I can flip my faces. But we'll get to that.
Okay. I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, we will definitely get to this. Yeah, we will definitely get to this.
I'm caught up.
So in the meantime, just make sure that when you want to see normals, use face orientation for right now until we know if someone could run. Let's run a search. Blender 4.0 normals. And not a quick answer. Hold on. So it's a mesh option. It's still an overlays menu as it used to be. Two overlapping circle icons. We need to enable. Oh, okay, so they're even saying that they're even going with the face orientation. So I'll have to take a deeper look into that since I'm not using Blender 4.0. But yeah, okay, that's good. That is good. That's good to know. All right, let's see here. Okay, so in edit mode, if everyone could switch to edit mode by hitting tab, we're going to take a look at these mirroring options right here. Say for instance, let's put a loop cut here. I'm gonna look at it from a front face. Edit. Loop cut. All right. So say for instance, I have this square, right? I have this cube, and I have items over here that I wanna manipulate, and I have items over here that I want to manipulate. But I really don't want to move this one and then go over here and move this one. If everything is proportional on my object, meaning that if the right It's the same as the left. I can go here to my mirroring options, well, my symmetry options, and I can click this X. And if I grab this vertex here and move it around, it'll move the other one on the other side. If if everything above is the same as below, I'll go to my Z here, move that. Well, if I cut off my X, well, you can have X and Z on as well, but it just depends on what you're doing. And I hit my grab button and I can move everything from top and bottom. That's, symmetrical. All right. That's what this is. This is just symmetry, editing, symmetry editing. All right. This option here, we will get into this as we go along in the class. This right here, we'll get into this because this is you're gonna find that these areas right here will be very useful. This is proportional editing. This is snapping. You can either, when you're snapping, either you can turn it on to snap, or when you grab something and move it, you can hold the control button to snap as well. This is your orientation, your pivot point, your transform pivot points. When you're editing, we're going to get into all of that as well, but it's very much needed. You don't have to worry about messing around with this for right now, but just know that we're definitely going to be getting into this as we do this trophy, as we eventually end up doing this donut. These things will definitely come in handy. All right, so now over here on the far right hand side, we have our different 3D options over here. We have, like I showed you, we have the render, we have your output, which is if you're doing like animation and you're rendering stuff out. There are a lot of options over here. I don't do animation rendering, but for you guys that eventually want to get into animations, that's what those are for. You have your world scene. The main ones that we're going to use will be this object properties underneath the viewport display when you're doing avatars, and the two main ones for building, well, that we're going to be using in this class will be the modifier tab and the material tab. These two tabs here. So go to your modifier tab over here. If you cannot see these, used to be a little tab out here that moved all of this stuff. Well, moved all of this. Yeah. So if your window looks like this and you cannot see those, you'll see a little bitty arrow right there. Click it and it'll open up these options. So go down to the little wrench, which is your modifiers. You will be in here a lot as you step off into your different respective creator roles and stuff. You will be in here a lot. You will use this array modifier. You will use this boolean. You will definitely use decimate. You will use the mirror tool. You will be using solidify, subdivision surface, and wireframe. Also, where is shrink wrap? And also shrink wrap. If you're doing like avatars or depending, you'll use shrink wrap. Shrink wrap does have its uses. All right, so take a minute to look over your modifiers, and remember it's going to be array, mirror, boolean, decimate, solidify, subdivision surface, and wireframe. Let's see. Jackie may be using a little bit more than some of these ones I be using, but we'll
only thing I use for avatars, I use data transfer for when I put clothes on the avatar and they don't have and and I want to attach it to the armature that the avatar already has, I use data transfer.
Nice, nice. You got to show. You got
Yeah.
to show me that one. Because
Okay.
normally I'll use the weight transfer. Just weight transfer.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I use the mess out of data transfer.
Nice. And then we got the particles tab, which I don't use, but you can use it. You can use it for like stuff like hair and stuff like that, along with the physics and stuff like that.
What about the units? The the one with the cone, the units, like a lot of times people in America, we changed our units from metric, which is like European, to imperial. Do you do that when you're building worlds?
Nah, I keep mine on the on the meters and stuff. Like
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I change mine to imperial just so it could be like in feet rather than,
But I didn't got so used to using them, using the meters and stuff, man. Shoot.
Yeah.
And then when I came to when I ended up updating to the next blender, I was using it in, I think that was 2.9, I believe. But then when I went over to 3.0, I never changed it. I never changed it back.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you got that avatar in there for scale, it really don't matter. But I do that sometimes still.
All right, so and then now, okay, so after your modifier tab, you'll also, for you avatar creators, you will be using this data tab down here. You know what I'm saying? And then also, you'll also use this tab, the material tab. You will use this. This is your best friend right here. This is where all your textures and stuff will be applied. All of your colors will be applied. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're doing texture paint, we'll try to get into texture painting. I don't do a lot of texture painting, but I do know how to set it up. So I can show you how to set it up, and then you can pretty much go off on your own on that, or watch a video. But by that time, when you're ready to start doing that, you should have enough Blender knowledge to know that when you're looking at that video, those things will come easy to you because you know how to navigate the system. Blender is basically just navigation, man, just navigation. All right. So the last thing in this viewport that we're going to go over will be this row of menus right here when you're inside of edit mode. All right. Because a lot of these objects and stuff right here we may cover some of these, but in edit mode, you have your mesh window or your mesh menu. And so a lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. You have your vertex. Your vertex is everything that's associated with vertices, which is the dots. You have your edge mode, or your edge menu, which is all menu items associated with selecting edges. And then you have your face. And let's see here. And then your UV mode for unwrapping your object to apply certain textures, because you can bring a texture in here, but you have to do something called UV unwrapping in order to place those textures the way you want them to look on your object. All right, so take a minute to look over these. Now you can't mess nothing up. You know what I'm saying? You trust me, you can't mess nothing up. If you have any questions, just ask, and I'll get you back to where you are. But take a minute to look over some of these options. You know what I'm saying? Just take a minute to look over them. Remember about your, also, again, navigate around your viewport window. Don't forget about that. Scroll in and out for zoom. Hold the middle wheel and shift to go from side to side, up and down, and then you're just holding the middle wheel to rotate around. So just take a look over some of these options that we just stated while I go and fix me another non-alcoholic drink, Ty Sky. All right. And we are back. Okie dokie. Let's take a look at this cube here. All right. So let's select this cube, right? We want to move this. We want to move the cube. So to move anything in Blender, it's G, simple G. So if you click G, no matter where your mouse is in the viewport window, just click G. You'll see this icon come up, and you'll see the cube turn white. Now, from this point, anywhere that you move your mouse, the cube moves with you. Now, if you right-click, it puts the object right back where it started from. So this is very good to know, to where anything that you're doing in Blender that requires you to move something, scale something, you know what I'm saying? If you're moving or scaling something, if you right click, it'll place it right back to where you started. All right, so hit G, move the cube around over here to any corner, and just hit the right mouse button, and it'll put it right back where it started.
Do you think it's different if you're on a Mac?
Probably.
Nope. It's not doing what you're saying.
Now, if you hit G, does it move? Does it move the cube?
Not at all.
Ooh, hold on.
Mine isn't moving with G either.
And you're on the Mac?
I'm on Windows.
I don't know if it's it, but I tried it. It didn't work at first, and then when I went into object mode, then it started working.
Yeah. You have to be in object mode. Must be in object mode.
I'm in object mode. It's not working though.
Object. Hold on. All right, I got the one.
Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm gonna
right here, City. Hold on one moment. We're gonna drop this into the chat.
Thank you.
All right, so
it worked for me once I got into object mode, City Girl, and I'm on a Mac. All I did was hit G, and I was able to move the box around.
Make sure.
All right, maybe it's just
box, City. Make sure you have the box highlighted, that it's yellow, and you see this highlighted over here on the right hand side that it's selected. Make sure you're in object mode, and then hit G.
Yeah, I'm in like that, and nothing's happening. It's okay.
Are you holding the G button? Are you keeping?
Oh, no, just tap it. Just tap the G button.
Okay.
You're moving?
If I just tap it, it moves.
Yes. Just tap it. Yep.
And then what do you do to get it to go back to the center?
You don't have a right click. Ooh.
I do have a right click. I have a right click.
Right click, and it should snap back to the center.
Okay.
All right. So now, if you hit G now and move it, and if you left click, you set it in place where you just moved it to.
Yeah.
All right. So left click to set it, right click to reset it. Undo to move it back to its center, which is everywhere. Control Z. All right, so let's do it again. So G to move it around, right click to reset it.
Favorite friend.
To move it around. Say again.
My favorite friend, Control Z.
Yo, straight up. and G to move it around, and left click to set it. And after you set it, if it's still not where you want it to be at, like he just said, use your best friend, Control Z. All right, so now, okay, so now in Blender, you can, when you move stuff, right? You know how we just moved this, but it was moving all over the place. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to have precision when we move stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Blender allows you to move on its axes. So what you want to do is you want to hit G to tell it to move, but now you want to either move it on the X plane, the X axis, Y axis, or Z. So if we hit X after we hit G, we'll see this red line come up that lets us know we're only able to move this on the X axis. And everything still applies after that. Right click to reset it back, GX to move on the X plane, and then left click to set it. All right, and this works for all axes. So now let's hit G and Y. So now we're only on the Y axis. All right, we'll reset it. And now if we hit G and Z, that's up and down on that Z axis. Now, say for instance, I have an object in my world, right? And I want to quickly move it over here to this corner over here, right? But I don't want to hit GX here, right here, then GY, you know what I'm saying, to put it right there. I just want to be able to move this object on the X and Y axis without it going up and down. So I can hit G on my keyboard. Then I can do I can subtract a axis from the movement by holding shift and hitting which axis I don't want this cube to move on, which in this case will be the Z. So if I hit shift Z, now you see the X and Y axis just came up, but you don't see Z. So now this allows me to move this around the X and Y without going up and down. That way I can move something quickly over, you know, and place it on the table, or, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Or if I have an avatar and I have like a clothing that's stuck inside of the mesh and I just want to pull that out, I can grab it, you know, hit my subtract the Z from it, and then just pull it out. But try that one. So hit G, then hold shift and hit Z, and then move it around on your X and Y. And you can also subtract other axes as well. Like if I want to move it just on the Z and X, I can hit G, and then I can hit shift Y to remove the Y axis. Now it only moves left and right, up and down. I guarantee you this will come in handy.
Yeah, that's good for placing doors and windows and stuff like that, for sure.
Yes, sir. And then next we're going to teach about global movement and local movement. All right, so say for instance, my cube is rotated. Let me rotate my cube real quick. All right, so say for instance, my cube is rotated, and I want to move it locally instead of globally. So globally, if I hit G and I hit Y, as you see, it moves on the Y plane. But that's global. But if I hit G and then I double tap Y, it'll switch the axis to what's locally on the Y plane for the object, which is real good to know. Now, how you rotate an object, instead of hitting G, you will hit R. R brings up the rotation. And as you see, this thing is, if you hit R and move your mouse around, it rotates all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Just all over the place. If you hit right click, it goes back to, it resets. So hit R and just rotate. Right. Now this also works with your axes. So if I hit R to rotate, and then I hit Z to rotate only on the Z axis, it rotates around now. And then if I hit right click, resets it. If I hit R and rotate only on the X axis, it rotates only on the X axis. And to rotate it, all you're doing is just moving your mouse around in a, in a circle. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to try to actually rotate it with the cube. You know what I'm saying? Just move it around in a circle on the screen. So that's rotating on the X axis. If I right click, resets. And if I hit rotate, which is R, and then hit Y, it rotates on the Y axis. This also works locally as well, because right now this is a global rotation. So let's rotate on the Z and rotate it 45 degrees, and then I hit rotate and then Y. So now it's going to rotate on the Y locally of the box. So mess around with your rotation and your accesses. You know what I'm saying? If you get stuck, make sure you right click to reset it. And if you want to get back to your front face, hit your Control Z to undo to bring it back to a right face. I'll give you guys about a minute of messing around with that. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Can you do any of that without the pressing the letters?
Now, no, you have to. You have to. It's either R or G. These are those shortcuts.
How do you set the precision of rotate for, like, let's say I wanted to rotate 5 degrees at a time?
Yes, you can do that. Okay, so you'll hit rotate, right? And then you will select your axis that you want to rotate on. Okay. And at that point, you'll go to your keypad and just type it in, 5. And see down here, it's showing it. It's showing it. Now from this point, when this menu pops up, you can either click it like that, or you can go in, or you can add in those increments.
Oh, I see.
Now, you also, let's see. I think it's snapping here, I believe, where you can rotate on your rotate and then hold Control, and then as you see it snapping in increments.
Rotate, Z, hold Control. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And if you want to change those, you know what I'm saying, you have different snaps that you can do, whether it's increments, if you want to snap to vertexes or edges or faces, which amazingly comes in handy when you want to set something like directly onto an object or something, like, say for instance, if you want to duplicate an object, Shift D, it'll duplicate the object. Shift D, it'll duplicate the object. And once you duplicate it, it's automatically in grab mode once you duplicate it. So if you right click, it snaps it back to where it was. And if you want to grab it again, just hit G. Make sure that you have it highlighted over here on the side and that you're grabbing the right one. So you'll hit G and then you can move that other cube. So that's duplication. So you'll hit Shift D. And then if I wanted to move it on the axis from that point, since it's already in grab mode, I can just hit X now at that point without having to hit G again, because I already duplicated it. And once I duplicated it, it was already in the grab mode. So now I can just move it, you know what I'm saying, wherever I want to, on which axis I want to move it on. If you hold your middle mouse wheel, it'll bring up all the axes, and you can actually drag it on one of those axes if you want to. Oh, yeah, I was just you crack. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was gonna get to that too, man. So let's delete this cube real quick. That one I just duplicated. So what Aussie just put in the chat, just want to let you guys know that, say for instance, you can grab this, right, and you want to move it on the X axis, but you don't want to hit X to move it on the X axis. What you can do is you can hold the middle mouse wheel. That'll bring up all axes, X, Y, and Z. And whichever axis you have the object closest to will move it on that axis. Mm-hmm. Let's put that back.
Okay.
So take a minute to mess around a little bit with rotation and grabbing, moving it around in your viewport. Move it somewhere, then go over to it, zoom out, move it somewhere else. So let's see, G, Shift Z to move it everywhere except for on the Z. Move it somewhere else, and try to navigate to it and rotate around it. And also, if you find yourself, say for instance, you are on an object, right? You're on an object and you're trying to rotate around it, but you're noticing as you rotate around it, the object veers off screen. To change that, go to your edit mode, go to preferences, go to navigation, and select orbit around selection. Make sure this box is checked. That way, whatever object you have selected, it's going to orbit you around that selection. This will very much come in handy when you're trying to get into intricate details on your object. Like, say for instance, I'm right here. Let's go to this vertex and select that vertex. So if I'm over here, as you see, it's orbiting around that vertex that I have selected. No matter where I'm at, it's orbiting around that selection. So you can go up to it, all that good old stuff, and you can orbit around the selection. We undo all of that subdivision stuff. Alrighty, so we are going to stop here. What I want you to do for when we resume class back on Thursday is everything that we just went over. Go back over navigating between object view and edit mode, which is tab to switch back between object view or edit mode, or going over here to the mode itself and switching between object and edit. Go over grabbing an object and moving it around your viewport, moving it on different axes, the X, the Y, the Z, rotating on different axes. Get familiar with changing out the viewports. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about messing with any modifiers or materials. If you want to, that's up to you. That is up to you. If you wanna try skipping ahead, maybe looking at a video to go in deeper and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you want. But mess around with this cube and navigating it around your scene. because navigation, once again, I cannot iterate the importance of just being able to have smooth navigation around your viewport, because it'll take a lot of stresses away when you're trying to do stuff. Just being able to navigate, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to navigate. Navigation is important. Let's see all this geometry of origin. Geometry of origin.
Let's see what I do it on mine.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for taking time out to give us a free class, and have a good evening.
Yes, yes, yes. And I want to let also I want to let you guys know, you know what I'm saying? We these are some free classes, you know what I'm saying? But by chance, you know, as we start getting deeper and deeper into it, you know what I'm saying? If you feel free to give any donations, we do take donations and stuff. But if you can't, look, it is no stress. Look, we want people to learn about Blender, because the more creators that we have on this platform, the better, the better. And you'll find that I don't gatekeep. The only gatekeeping that I do is my signature. You know what I'm saying? So, but besides that, you know what I'm saying, I have lots of we have lots of tips, tricks, and stuff to show you in regards to using this software. And everyone in here is an artist, and I can give you the tools to paint, but only you'll be able to paint on your canvas. You know what I'm saying? Only you know what your view, you know what I'm saying, looks like of what you want to paint. So we'd like to thank y'all very much for being a part of this class. Do you have anything to add on, Jackie?
Yep. Again, like you said, we appreciate y'all coming out. I suggest everybody pay close attention to what we are teaching, and practice, practice, practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because there's going to be a lot of mistakes. It's going to be the main way you learn. So, you know, don't be afraid to mess up. That's what the Command Z is for. And yeah, like the YouTube videos, you know, look at them when you have a chance and stuff like that. The ones that, you know, for the people who need them and everything. And yeah, just look forward to, you know, learning a lot, and, you know, trying to figure out like what type of 3D artist do you want to be? Do you want to build worlds? Do you want to build avatars? You know, because that's going to account for a lot too. And that's about it.
Where do we find the uploaded videos? My schedule's changing, so I'm going to be participating via video after today.
Don't we have a place in here, Kipp, for
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
If you look up in this Discord, if you look up, you'll see an area that says the complex, and then you'll see an area that says the photo booth. Above that one, you'll see an area that says creative kickback. Inside of that area, you'll see a text channel that says Blender 3D Unity videos. All the videos that we'll be doing will be uploaded to that channel. Y'all are so welcome. Y'all are so welcome. Thank y'all as well, Ebony Loudfire. Thank y'all as well. So yeah, like Jackie was saying, you know, mess up, man. You know what I'm saying? Go in this thing, you know what I'm saying, and just and mess it up. You can't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? Just go in here and just
Yeah,
make as
make
many
your mistakes.
possible.
Yeah. And one more thing, for the people who couldn't practice on the computer today, who had to watch on their phone or couldn't hear or whatever, for the love of God, please go back and watch the videos and practice, please.
Please do.
Because Blender is no joke. That's it.
All right. Oh, and also the videos that's over here in the side too. The how to move objects in Blender on a Mac. Let's see. Use Blender without a touchpad, with only a touchpad. And then the one at the top where it says how to use Blender with no mouse or number pad. You know, those videos that's in there, they're not long at all. They're not even probably not even 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Just watch them and, you know, and
But
get it
yeah,
and get on.
if you can, please get a 2-button mouse with the little stroke, the little wheel in the middle. I mean, if you got to go to Five Below, Walmart, order on Amazon, whatever, because that's going to make your life a whole lot easier if you don't have one already. That's it.
Will this room stay open so we can get back into the chat to get those links later?
Oh yeah. This is since y'all have already added the roles and stuff. All you have to do is click on the open chat, fire, and it'll open the chat right on up. Oh yeah. This